Obviously I'd love to sit here and tell you, make great excuses for what happened, but first I'll tip my hat, okay, to our opponent. I thought in the reality of it, at the line of scrimmage, where games are still won in this sport, they dominated. And unfortunately, okay, we didn't have the ability to respond. I thought our defensive line really hung in there for the majority of the football game. Hard when offensively we couldn't sustain any consistency, especially up front, and it exposed us in some of the most critical times. And the reality of it is, you saw the end result of it, and the end result of it is their ability to stay on the field and their ability to end the drives of the football game. So, my end, that's the difference, and we got to get it figured out. But with that said, I'll certainly give it to you guys.
Matt, what can you do to fix up those issues with offensive line from here on out?
Well, we got to get better, and again, it's our first game, so going against in my opinion, a very senior-led, excellent defensive front. And, I think they need to get out and get that experience and play. A lot of guys playing different positions, some guys, in getting out there and really being counted on for the first time. So that group's going to have to grow, and you wish you could rub your hands and make it happen, but they need experience and they got to go play.
What did you see from them on the first drive? Because they got good push early and got down to the one or two.
They did. I thought we started off and, some good consistency. We were able to mix the run and the pass. I thought we had a really good tempo, but still, you get down there on the 1 yard line, A, you don't put it in, and B, you end up jumping off sides and have to kick a field goal. So, I think the whole reality of it is there was some positive at times, but inconsistent, and that inconsistency against a group like that, it's hard to have success.
You were wide open with the offense on your first series. I mean, you even went under center a couple times.
Yes. For you. Right?
Yeah. You then. Was it because the Iowa adjusted, or you seem to go away from that a little bit? And correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we changed much in the first half. Now in the second half, obviously, we were trying to. They changed a little bit. They got an extra safety down in the box and went to play a lot more cover 3 than what they've had in the past. And credit goes to them. We tried to adjust to take advantage of it, and we were. Whether we adjust or we didn't, we didn't protect well enough to be able to make some of the adjustments we needed to. And then when we started to, again, some penalties really negated some of those drives that started to get going and allowing us to have some success.
How's Kyle Kemp?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Kyle got his MCL dinged up. I can't tell you what the extent of that is, other than it's a knee injury. And again, this is, we've been here. I mean, we've played a lot of quarterbacks, and fortunately for us, Zeb came in. I thought Zeb did a really good job, to be quite honest with you. And he's the guy that started, so if Zeb has to start for us, or is our guy starting going forward, I know this team's confident for sure.
How do you win games when your big play guys aren't making the huge plays? I mean, like Hakeem, like David, for example.
Well, it's hard to, right? And I think that's where, for us, you have to have some consistency to allow those guys to really open up their game. And, we never got into a flow. As soon as we got into any type of flow, we self-destructed somewhere. And really the majority of that self-destruction happened up front, playing behind the sticks, putting ourselves in really tough situations.
Was David 100% coming into this game? He seemed to be missing a little bit of that first step that maybe we're used to seeing.
Yeah, if there was anything that's wrong with David, I certainly would be, naive to it. So, he's had a great camp, and I think he's at full strength.
What's next for Kyle? You said, I know you said
I
it's going
think
to be.
we'll find out. I don't think it's season ending by any stretch of the imagination. I think more of it is a little bit here, day to day, and we'll know more of it as we go through the week, even about his availability for Oklahoma.
What went into the decision to move Julian back to center?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is having multiples of people out of position in an environment like this, in a game like this. Where I think trying to give some fluidity and some being concrete a little bit going into this football game, I thought was really important. Julian had played really good at center last year, and I thought Sean's a guy that's played a lot of football, so I just felt like experience was the right thing to do. Now, is that the right thing going forward? Obviously, we'll watch the film and we'll make the best decision for this football team. Colin Knowles, a young man that didn't play much today, and is a guy that we have great belief in, and probably a guy that's certainly capable of going in and helping this football team. So I think there's still a lot of competition. As I told you guys, it's going to take a couple weeks till that line shakes out to what it really is and what we want it to be going forward.
How much did the field position affect the offense, and what goes into maybe trying to improve that?
Yeah, I think again in a game like this, it's so you try to play that way early because it's such a your defense is playing really good. You don't want to try to expose yourself, especially against these guys. I think when you play these guys, they make you beat yourself. And so I think really trying to play station-to-station football was big early on. But the reality of it is trying to swing that field position was really tough for us. And that was a situation that was really kind of put on that offense where we had to try to swing it at times and we just couldn't get it swung.
Mike Rose was your best player, no?
Mike Rose is pretty good. He's a good player.
Did that surprise you how he played in his first college game?
Well, I don't think I've lied about guys that are good players. I've tried to be honest. And so I think Mike's really good. I think a lot of people today saw why Mike won the job. Mike's special. And again, you're talking about a kid now. And, he's still got a lot of growing to do and a lot of work to do. But Mike's really talented. So we're really fortunate to have Mike on our team.
When it comes to a group like the offensive line that needs some reps, is that where the, not playing a full game in week one kind of shows up?
Yeah, I mean, you can make an excuse any way you want. The reality of it is that group will get better as the season goes. And what does a group like that do? They need experience. But, to make that as an excuse of why they didn't play well tonight is certainly unexcusable. That has to do with everything that they need to continue to work on and get better. But, that had nothing to do with it other than the fact that I think that group will grow as the season goes.
The defense obviously weathered a couple of really tough field position things in the first half. Was it just a matter of too much time on the field wearing down a little bit that allowed that one touchdown to get through?
Yeah, dang, and I'll be honest with you, I go back to myself. It's third and, it was 2nd and 18 or 3rd and 6, and we talked about it, do you take the make them go on 3rd down or do you take the yardage, and it's still, I think there's 7:02, 7:03 on the clock where, I think yardage and field position are still important, but it's one of those things where whether they wore down or not, they gave us every opportunity to win the football game, and I thought those kids never quit. And so I don't think any of our kids quit, to be honest with you. I was really proud of the attitude and effort of our kids. We just got to get better in some areas from game 1 to game 2, a lot of improvement, and we need it.
Matt, what made A.J. Epinesa so difficult to block in the fourth quarter?
Well, probably because it was 3rd and 12, and you can pin his ears back and pass rush, and that's not a knock against him. He's a tremendous pass rusher. I think one of my things that really impressive is watching him and his ability to pass rush. But you can also be dominant as a pass rusher when all you're doing is trying to throw the football. And so he's really special. He's got great get off. Certainly a guy that has the ability to create havoc when, especially when he knows he's in a pass situation. And unfortunately for us, we were in a lot of those in the fourth quarter of the football game.
What did you think about the defense's ability to show multiple fronts and just kind of how they played all game?
Well, I think that's where you see the veteranness of our football team, and we're going to need to lean on those guys until the other side of the football can catch up. But I thought they were outstanding. I thought Coach Haycock, I thought our entire staff did an incredible job, and that's a veteran offense that they're going against too, in a lot of ways. So give credit to Coach and obviously those kids because they were outstanding, and they kept us right in the football game, gave us every chance to win the game.
How do you think punching in a touchdown there on that first drive of the game would have changed the entire complexion of this thing?
Yeah, it certainly makes it a different football game, and again, that's kind of exactly where we live today. It's 4th and 1 on the one, and we jump all sides, and I think that's the telltale sign of who we are. We're going for it. We're going to try to score and try to take that next step, but we weren't able to do it, and the reality of it is I think that certainly had a effect. Now, was it the difference? By no means, and so it happens. We've got to grow from it and learn from it.
Last question for Coach. If Zeb is the guy moving forward, how did his characteristics maybe change a little bit from Kyle, in your opinion?
Gosh, I really don't see much difference. I think one of the best things about Zeb is, and this was so critical to getting Kyle Kemp back, was Zeb has grown as much as anybody maybe over the last 6 months in our program, and it's a lot of it's because of the leadership of Kyle. You know, Kyle's taken him under his wing. Those two have really grown together. And I thought as much as anything about getting Kyle back was to have that leadership of what he's provided this football team in every way, shape, and form. But the guy that's probably grown the most under his leadership has honestly been Zeb.
All right, Coach, thank you.